Bills and Steelers still locked at 0. Let's see how our audio sounds today. Do a little bit of light movement before I start my putting. Here we are. Check, 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 check. Here we are. Check, 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 check. Nice, that sounds great. Let it all work out. Oh, Sunday evening, getting ready for the week. Late windows open. You got Bills and Steelers, Vikings, Raiders and Chargers, some AFC West action. I think I saw Justin Herbert was injured. Always something going on Sundays. That play also by the Vikings quarterback, I think Brosmer might be their backup. That was such a tough, really tough moment. Let me... Okay, that's good right there. Oh. Is that the game tonight? Broncos and Commanders? I feel like they could have flexed that one out for a better Sunday night game. They also could be wrong. Yeah, it sure is. Broncos are probably a road favorite in that game. Oh, all right. So get some light stretching done. Do some putting. Did James Cook just lose that fumble? Wow, big play for the Steelers. Hey, Jacob's here. What's up, Jacob? Appreciate you coming in to say hi.
Oh, your computer screen's over there?
Yeah. They just picked up a fumble. It's, if you want to... It's still 0-0. But Aaron Rodgers is playing with like a big cast on his arm.
What?
Well, he has a broken wrist, apparently.
Why? I'm tired.
It's his non-throwing hand.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, that's my back. Got some good pops going. Repping some more Sober Golf Club merch, guys. They were nice enough to send me some gear. Been checking it out. Really high quality stuff. Loving the vibes. Got these quality hats. Got the green one I was wearing the other day. Oh, man. Definitely don't have like full range of motion when I'm wearing this thing, but that's okay. Just trying to get everything loose before I'm standing here hitting a whole bunch of putts. Brad said, you seem happy. Thanks, Brad. I appreciate you saying that. It's a lot of hard work to make yourself happy. I've had to do things like therapy and quit drinking. Lost a bunch of weight. Met a great woman. Brad said, what's going on with the leg? What's going on with the leg? We're trying to get a little more stability with this brace. I have a mostly torn ACL in that side, but I'm not going to let that stop me. Sounds like something that's not going to require surgery. I'm just going to have to do lots of PT basically forever. Or it will rupture the rest of the way, and then I'll have to get a full ACL reconstruction, so that would be less fun. But those are my choices. My choices were 6 to 9 months of full ACL rehab, or do a bunch of PT and try to keep it really strong, and just not worry about the fact that it's hanging on by a thread. A thread is better than no thread, right, guys? If they said you could have a thread or no thread, I'm picking thread. Boom. That's one putt made. Rink wants to know, what's your furthest drive? My furthest drive ever is probably 350. My favorite long drive story is driving it onto a par 4 that was about 350 yards. It was pretty firm, so it only carried probably 280 in the air. It wasn't a crazy drive, but ended up going like 350 onto the green. And then I 5-putted for a double bogey. Brad said 9.5 pH water, drink 1 a day for 6 days, pain go away. You know, Brad, I would be willing to try anything. I'll have to do some reading about this pH water thing. Boom. Injuries are going to happen, guys. Setbacks are going to happen in your journey. Whatever goal you're working towards, whether it's golf, something else in life. Rink says, I just subscribed. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. We are on our way to 7,000 subs, guys. Not even a year into doing YouTube. I'm way ahead of any goals that I could have reasonably set for myself doing this. So it's all thanks to you guys continuing to show up and support me. All the new subscribers, all the people who continue to stay subscribed and engage with the videos, drop nice comments and likes on the videos. So it's pretty cool, guys, that there's a reasonable chance we might be able to get to 10,000 subs before 1 year on YouTube. That would be crazy. January 6th, I think, was our first year. Lorenzo said, Happy Gilmore that I don't know if I can in here, my guy. We'd have to, well, we could do the Happy Gilmore putt, right? We could just putt like this. Look at that, right down the middle, guys. Is that a knee brace? It sure is. It sure is. Just looking for a little more stability. Boom. Maybe I should just putt like Happy Gilmore all the time. Nope, maybe not. Rink said, bro's insane at putting. Well, I've just had lots of practice, guys. You guys have been here for a lot of it. I've done lots and lots of live streams in here. While you guys listen to me rant about a variety of topics. We have lots of good questions come in and engage with the viewers. But all of that practice time still adds up. You know, I've spent lots and lots of hours in here hanging out on the stream, hitting putts. And I've certainly improved my skill, especially using tools like this Pels Tutor and this putting mirror. What is a bussy queef? You tell me, Landon. I don't know, bro. I've never in polite conversation had someone say, well, you know, sir, there was a bussy queef. Is the bussy queef in the room with us? Boom. Sunday, guys. Sunday can be a tough day. I used to remember the Sunday scaries. Every Sunday I just had that hangover, the sweats, the nausea. You're just like, oh, riddled with anxiety. You know, that's the the alcohol that's still in your body and the stress about the coming week. Boy, I don't miss those, Sunday scaries. Now that I don't drink, it's nice to just have a chill day, getting some work done. Excited about what's to come. Not anxious. Just like, all right, we got stuff coming up. We got work to do this week. We're working on building this channel out, guys, now that we're thinking about trying to add more value in a lot of different ways. So some of you guys have been asking for one-on-one coaching. That's golf specific. We've been doing a lot of lessons here on the stream, but some folks had asked for more direct, like, hey, I want you to coach me. So I partnered up with Skillist, and we're offering that. And I've also started a SKOOL community, which is pretty exciting. SKOOL with a K. So we're going to be putting some guides and different kinds of written content out on there, as well as, more videos like you guys have seen here, but really trying to keep expanding this brand and opportunity and see what we can do with it. Would you rather bust 23 times in blackjack or bust 23 times on Jack Black? Wow, it's a good question, Landon. I don't know what Jack Black is going to have to say about it, especially by like that, 15th, 16th time. He's like, dude, you got to find somewhere else to bust. But I also hate busting in blackjack because then you're losing money. So, what happened to your leg? Just getting old. Do you have a golf simulator? Because I do. I have a launch monitor out in my outdoor hitting setup, but I would love to have a simulator at home someday. I would be streaming and hitting balls for hours and hours a day. My wife would be like, where have you gone? Garrett says, gotten out of hitting the ball off the toe. It's a scratch golfer. It's starting to make me mad. May have to get a lesson. Not happy with how I've been hitting it the past few days. Are you feeling okay? You look like you're about to faint. No, I'm doing great, man. I am naturally pale, but I appreciate the concern. Haven't had a lesson since I was a kid. Well, Garrett, if you can always send me a video of your swing on Instagram, I'm happy to take a look. I know you're a good player, but sometimes it helps to have another set of eyes. Boom. And if you're really serious, head to that link in my bio. We can start working together one-on-one. Sorry, but I would rather pick a coach a bit more energetic and athletic. Well, it's a fair criticism. Getting old, I get that, but do you have a specific injury? Oh, my specific injury is a partially torn ACL. I have cystic degeneration on the lower end, the tibia side, not the femur side of my ACL due to a prior tear. So I can either wear this brace and do lots of physical therapy, or I can get a whole new ACL from a dead guy, put in there, and I'm trying to put that off as long as I can. There's still a chance that whatever's left of it will just go, will rupture, and then I'll have to get the new ACL anyway. But until then, I might as well keep trying to make do with what I have left. Don't listen to any of these guys. Do your thing. Thanks very much. I appreciate you saying that. I don't worry about about that stuff. If there's something that where maybe this isn't the appropriate forum to discuss, then we can just say that. But I don't mind. I mean, I am wearing a big giant brace and I'm live streaming. I think it's normal for people to be like, "Hey, what's going on? Hope you're okay." The good news is it doesn't really impact me all that much when I'm swinging. I could stand and hit balls. I can exercise. I can do lots of, different activities and keeping it nice and strong, and the range of motion is still good. It's just walking. Walking is really where I have such a hard time, and it just gets super swollen and angry at me and not good things. Rink says, I just followed you on Insta. Thanks very much, my friend. I also do putter broadcasting Korea. Very cool. I appreciate you coming to say hi, and I'll have to go back and check out some of your streams. Oh, there we go. I try to do the streams outside as much as we can, where we can do full swings and hit balls into the net. But with the weather and the cold recently, we've been pretty much stuck inside. But like anything, guys, the perspective is what you make of it. So instead of saying, man, I wish I could be doing something else, just say, I'm grateful that I, have the opportunity to do what I'm doing now. I try, but it's not giving me an option to send a video. I might need to accept the chat first, Garrett. I'm not sure, but I've had other people do it successfully on Instagram. Hey, Kerry's here. James is here. Declan's here. What's up, guys? Thanks for saying hi. Declan thinks that Bridgestone putters are better than Lab. I don't know about that. I've never used a Bridgestone putter. But I do know that this Lab putter has been very good to me. Hey, Daryl's here. What's up, Daryl? Shane's here. How long ago did you do your Happy Gilmore swings that you posted on YouTube? That was probably 2 weeks ago that I filmed the Happy Gilmore challenge. But pretty exciting. That video is going to be ready and posted this coming week, guys. So in the next 4 or 5 days, probably Friday, there will be a full 9-hole Happy Gilmore video coming out. So much better off the face. I've never tried one. I can't say I've ever used a Bridgestone putter. I know them mostly for golf balls and then maybe irons. Boom. Can you please help a friend that's in the hospital? What can I do? How long have you been golfing, and how often do you golf? I've been playing golf for almost 20 years now. Since I was, starting high school. And I play about once a week now, which is not as much as I would like, but there was a lot of good things happening in my life this year that took me away from the golf course, and that's okay. Life is like that sometimes, so you gotta keep some perspective about these things. All you gotta do is accept me. Okay, so when we're done streaming, Garrett, I'll make sure to do that. Let me see if we can do what Daryl's asking for. That's my man. Is that a Lab putter? This is a Lab putter, guys. This is the Lab DF3. Very cool technology in these that helps keep that face square. It's called Y angle balanced. So as long as this plane, right, if you imagine a plane of glass here that is the arc of our stroke, the putter face is going to stay square to that pane of glass. It's not magic, guys. You still have to practice. You still have to read the greens and aim your ball and the putter effectively. But for me, I've just noticed the ball wants to start on line. It goes where I aim it. Speedy recovery, mate. I've just had an ACL reconstruction and medial meniscus repair 10 days ago. I'm on a long road to recovery. Do you need surgery or can it be managed through exercise? So I think I'm hopefully in the second bucket. They're trying to hold off on doing surgery, and so am I. But the doctor said, we'll try the therapy first and see if it, stays the same or gets better or gets worse. So I'm sort of just starting my process, but wish you a speedy recovery as well, similarly. It sounds like quite the intensive operation and one that I would like to avoid if I can. Oh, yanked that one pretty poorly. I can use some new eyes just to see if you see anything. Yeah, totally. Absolutely, Daryl. I think it's something with hands getting higher, front shoulder pulling out early. I just need swing thoughts. There you go. Yeah, Garrett, sometimes just, having something could be as simple as trying to hit some out of the heel for a while. I've done that when my strike gets a little wonky and moving around ways I don't like it. JS said, I'm pretty new to golf. Started around a year ago. Went from scoring 120 to 130 to mid to lower 90s. Don't know any experienced golfers to ask, is that a reasonable place to be at? Yeah, totally, JS. And just remember, it's not a linear kind of thing. Like every 6 months, you must drop so many shots to be on track. You know, everyone's journey and experience in golf and in life is different. And if you're already improving that much, you went from shooting 120 to 95, that's amazing progress. You should be proud of yourself. There's no timeline or you know, budgeted amount of hours that you need to worry about. Just have fun and keep trying to play better golf. You know, work on your swing. If you want lessons, head to the link in my bio. Especially for indoor guys, I think there's a lot of great coaches out there who do awesome work with swing swing technique and stuff. But there's a niche in the, you know, working on your game inside, not able to hit balls, that a lot of us find ourselves in if you live in places where it snows. And I just have lots of experience doing that, so I think that's sort of one area that I could add a lot of value. Thanks, I have my fingers crossed for you. Thanks, Simile. You had a cat and body scan yesterday. Oh, sorry to hear that. Hope everything's going okay. I like the Goodell picture with the clown nose. Thanks, Labor Surplus. Appreciate you. Yes, this is a fan favorite. And by fan, I mean I'm the fan. It's one of my favorite framed pieces that I have in here. There we go. I promise, Daryl, I will never wear these shoes without them being tied. You have my word. Hey, Nathan's here. Day 10, right, Nathan? Let's go. Rolling the rock. Been watching more of your videos, and they're really solid. Thanks, Nathan. Appreciate you saying that, my dude. If you guys do ever have any feedback, or you're like, hey, I'd love to see this kind of video, just drop a comment on the videos. I still read all the comments. I try to reply to all the comments. At least the nice ones. The nice positive comments, those always get a response. Proud of you, Nathan. Staying clean. Hey, Matthew Stallings is here. Just getting old having the toe strike. Got to get back to my normal self. I hear you, man. I struggled with a lot of the same thing at the start of this year, and it was just a lot, you know, getting the face a little bit too shut. He's got the Stone Cold Steve Austin knee brace on. I like it. Yeah, got to do what we can do, right, Darren? I would, Daryl, but they're so short because they're tied so nice and tight that they won't even tuck in there. So they're very secure. Don't worry, I'm not going to trip. I've worn these shoes for many, many steps, many hours. Let's go. How long have you been playing golf? Great question. Almost 20 years. Probably since I was like 12 or 13 is when I started taking it seriously. Boom. I'd like to hear Happy Gilmore. Pitch shots. I have a shirt like the Goodell picture you have right there. Yeah, toppers. We're out here, man. Got to keep up the... Let people know. The ideal gas law does not care what Roger Goodell has to say. All right, guys, what do you say we put down our well-stroked putting mat? Whoa. My things are a little bit everywhere because we were filming a What's in the Bag video for you guys. That'll be out in the next few weeks. Your Happy Gilmore pitch shot video was good. Was the putt for par or birdie? Oh, Shane, I have bad news. I don't think it was for either par or birdie. You guys are going to see that Happy Gilmore video. It's not one where you're like, oh, I'm going to keep score and really hope I put up a good number. You know? We were just out there having fun. There were a couple times it took me like 3 shots to get out of a bunker. You know, doing the whole walk up and hitting a bunker shot. I mean, who practices that? I certainly don't. So, it was mostly for fun and for giggles. That putt might have been for like a bogey or a double bogey. Shane? Matthew's been playing for 25 years. Toppers, I agree with you, bro. Absolutely, Daryl. Hope you start to feel better. Nobody's mad. Matthew's been playing for 25 years. That's amazing. Isaiah's here. What's up, Isaiah? Appreciate you. Thanks for saying hi, guys. And if it's your first time on the stream, you're enjoying the vibes, hit that subscribe button for me. Keep the vibes high. Every single stream. Trying to make this a positive, optimistic, energetic, uplifting place for all of us to hang out and continue working on our golf games, continue working on ourselves as people. I talk a lot about my experiences with sobriety and the 5 years of clarity that I've enjoyed since I quit drinking. Coming up on 5 years. And, you know, other experiences I've had, things like going to therapy that have really helped me, that I think have a stigma, that are harmful. The stigma is harmful is what I'm trying to articulate. I think more people would be open to these things and living happier, more fulfilled lives if they didn't feel it was unmanly or uncool, or they weren't sure what their friends would say when they found out. There's nothing wrong, guys, with taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental health. Still pretty good. Well, thanks, Shane. They're so cool. I mean, these are some of my favorite sneakers too, Daryl. How often are you live? It seems daily. Almost daily. I try to be on here every day if I can. I'd love to get to a point where we're doing kind of a consistent, maybe 2-hour stream every afternoon. Just gotta get to that place and really commit to it. Thanks for being here, Matthew. Andrew's here. What's up, Andrew Ricker? What happened to your leg? Oh, this is nothing new. I just have been getting more treatment on my knee. So nothing new has happened. It's just I'm actually trying to take care of it and get some stability. C-Boy for Soccer is here. Nathan says, so is golf kind of your replacement for drinking? I was wondering what I'm going to replace getting high with because it ruled my day today. I don't know if necessarily I would describe it as a replacement, Nathan, because I did play golf before, you know, while I was still drinking. I used to drink a lot on the golf course. I don't know if there's ever anything that is like a replacement. In my experience, you know, alcohol was the thing I did to not deal with the emotions or to feel the things that I was feeling. Alcohol was a solution to that. It was, you know, treating a symptom. And it wasn't until I really became a happy person and dealt with a lot of the issues that were causing me to drink and feeling uncomfortable and restless. That's a lot of what using drugs and alcohol is trying to mask something or to not deal with the feelings or the things that are making you feel that way. But for some people, Nathan, it can be good to have something else to replace that. It's a place to put that energy, right? The addiction used to be the thing that you were so focused on, and it's like day to day, like when's the next time I can drink? What's the next opportunity to, get totally blackout drunk? And you need something else to put that energy to. Sometimes people use the gym, people use golf. So I know it's not a perfect answer, like yes or no to your question, but hopefully that helps. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate you saying that. We've we've been doing lots of therapy and trying to get some stability and strength back. I will say, it felt validating to know that there was something actually wrong with my knee. I wasn't just, in my head making it up or feeling pain that wasn't there. They're like, no, your ACL's hanging on by a thread. So it's normal that I would have pain and swelling. And Daryl, I'm good, brother. You got to trust me with the shoelaces. As a 31-year-old man, I will underwrite any risk that comes to me as a result of my shoelaces being awry. Nathan said, no, that's totally accurate. Well, yeah, again, I think a lot of us have similar experiences, and that's why there's so much value in using this platform to talk about it. So that people out there say, hey, it's not just me. There's other guys, other people out there who are going through similar things. They've had similar fears and anxiety and feelings going through these processes. And if we can just acknowledge that, even just to allow people to say, oh yeah, I've been there too. Sometimes that's all it takes, is just to be able to say what you're feeling to a group of people or to a person who will understand what that's like. If you talk about going through the withdrawals from being a heavy drinker, I was drinking 60 to 80 drinks a week. And you can't describe that to someone and have them be like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, if they haven't also gone through that, right? So there is value in collectively discussing these experiences and talking about it. Hey, Pods is here. What's up, Pods? Appreciate you saying hi, my friend. Man, the Vikings are just having a tough season, not getting anything to go their way. Nice kick from the Seahawks kicker there. That was honestly, guys, a big part of why I started making content and why this platform is so important to me, was I didn't see a lot of other people talking about these issues, and I believe so fervently that, number one, there is a stigma associated with these issues. That stigma is harmful, and that we can combat that stigma by openly discussing these things. Well, if I believe all of those things to be true, don't I then have some obligation to give back and talk about my experience and maybe help somebody else who's going through the similar things? If I wish that support was there for me, aren't there other people out there wishing that support was there? Sometimes, there was a good ad I saw. I don't know anything about the guy's politics, so don't, associate with me. But the ad was basically like, oh, we need somebody to fix that. We need somebody to go deal with that. Well, sometimes somebody has to be you. And you got to just put your hand up and say, okay, I'll do what I can. I don't know anything about making videos, but I do have a story to tell. I do have experiences that I can share. And the feedback has been amazing. I mean, there's lots of people who have said, this is really helping. This is offers accountability, or even just it gives an outlet for people to come and feel like there's a space they can listen to me talk and not feel judged. Who's your favorite golfer? I would say Ludwig Oberg at the moment. You said you used to play hockey, is that right? What's your favorite NHL team? That is right, Shane. The Boston Bruins are my team. I grew up being a huge Boston Bruins fan. It is really helpful you're talking about it. So many people deal with addiction, and addiction lives in the dark with a lot of shame. The more you talk about it, the less shame. Totally. There's nothing, I have so little shame about my struggles with alcohol. It is an incredibly addictive chemical that is pervasive in our society. It was acceptable to drink even when it wasn't legal. Everyone was doing it. Not everyone, but it was, it's everywhere. It's very socially acceptable. And given the amount of trauma and hard things that people have to go through as humans, right? Being a human is really hard sometimes. And alcohol, as a product solves a lot of those issues, right? If you don't want to feel the emotions that you don't want to feel, well, I have a great product for you. It's going to mess up your whole life, but it will work very effectively for that, the first 90 minutes. So, yeah, I think there shouldn't be shame. This is just a thing that lots of people experience. And we should act like it. growing up, everybody can remember the kid who broke their arm, right? We don't make fun of people who have serious issues. Plenty of you guys, lots of people have already come in here and they said, hey, are you okay? Like, we see this big brace on your leg. Tell me what's going on. The reaction should be the same when someone says, hey, I had a problem with addiction, or my mental health isn't the best right now. I've been there, guys. My mental health has been shaky of late. Some good days, some bad days. But I don't have shame about that. That's just part of my experience as a human. I tried to use the tools that I've learned over the years to combat that. But you're still going to have good days and bad days. That's just part of being a person. Yeah, for real, we don't get addicted to drugs because they don't work. Yeah, totally, Nathan. Totally. Totally. If they didn't work, we would do something else, right? And the part that nobody talks about enough, in my opinion, is I wasn't. You wouldn't have looked at me from the outside and been like, oh man, that guy definitely has a drinking problem. You'd be like, he seems like he's doing okay. He's got a good job, the nice car, the apartment, all these things that from outer signs of success and holding things together, you'd say, yeah, it seems like he's doing okay. But I was getting drunk every single day for months and weeks and years at a time, and just plowing through, functioning as best I could, somehow holding it all together. And drinking was like gasoline to me. I could go all night long, start as soon as we possibly can, and while everyone else is in bed, I'm still sitting on the couch, pouring half a beer on myself. I just couldn't get enough. And we always talk about it like it's this big scary thing, and the reality is, guys, that everyone's experience looks different. I've talked to lots of people. There's an awesome group called Soba Golf on Instagram if you guys haven't heard of this, and they host meetings that you guys should definitely check out if you're interested. And I hear people tell these stories, and I'm like, wow, that we're here fighting the same disease, we're having the same desire to not drink alcohol, but their version of that, their journey, looks totally different from mine. But at the end of the day, we have these unique, deep human experiences that overlap so heavily. Even though their story has different, markers or parts to it than mine, we're all just trying to figure it out and get through the day as best we can. So hopefully that helps, Nathan. I just think it's important to have people, put their hand up and say, like, yeah, this is a thing that I've dealt with. Did you ever go to AA/do you? I'm trying to find a community to get involved with. Well, so Nathan, this Soba Golf is one that I would really recommend. Corey does an awesome job keeping it engaging, and people really are there for each other. It has an awesome kind of community feel that's all run through Discord. It's SOBA Golf on Instagram. I think they also have a website. But to answer your question, no, I have never gone to any sort of organized meetings or AA. I just quit drinking cold turkey. I had a vicious bender and was, super hungover, and I said, I got to try to give it up for 30 days. Like, just as a challenge to myself. Can I make it through a month without drinking? And I always try to preface this by saying, if you're in a similar spot and you're drinking a lot and you want to stop, you should call your doctor. Just say, hey, I want to make sure I do this the right way and that I'm safe about it, because there can be health implications when you're putting heavy amounts of alcohol in your body and then you stop abruptly. Namely, you can have a lot of seizures, is what I later learned. I did not know that at the time, so it wouldn't have impacted my decision making, but I do know that, so I might as well say it. And there's no shame in this, guys. Just call your doctor. They are doctors for a reason. They want to help. Just say, hey, I want to make sure I do this the right way. Here's how much I've been drinking. And be honest with them. There's no, like, oh, I actually drink 40 drinks a week, but I'm going to tell them 20 so I feel better. Like, it's just going to, be more hazardous. So call your doctor, and they'll help you. But Nathan, no, I did not have any experience with, any sort of organized programs or things like that. I didn't go to rehab. I've never done inpatient stuff like that. Brett says, how much were you drinking a day? Pretty cool you're openly talking about it. Thanks, Brett. I appreciate you saying that. I usually say 60 to 80 drinks a week, so like 10 drinks a day. And I would drink anything, guys, so like beer, wine, you know, seltzers like White Claw, red wine, white wine, whiskey, gin. I mean, I truly do not really discriminate. Like Aperol Spritz, that sort of vibe, I was maybe like something I would actively push away, but good question, Shane. Not really. I have 2 brothers and a bunch of younger cousins, but no would be my answer to your question. Yeah, guys, definitely check out Soba Golf, SOBA, over on Instagram or on their website. Or send me an email. I can make sure you get the link to the Discord. Excuse me. Nice. Yeah, I tell people I'm a retired professional. I wasn't like a casual drinker who just wanted to, you know, optimize my lifestyle. I was good at drinking. I have a lot of gratitude that when my drinking was at its worst, I still had, you know, an environment around me, or, you know, at least enough sense where I wasn't doing things like drinking and driving. I wasn't endangering other people. So I'm grateful for that. But it's not pretty. It's not glamorous. It's mostly sad, right? I was just a very sad, depressed person who was trying to fill that void with anything that would make those emotions go away. And alcohol is really good at that. It doesn't mean that it's the right choice. It's definitely not accretive. It's very damaging to your health and your sleep and all kinds of things that we know now. Also, if you guys want to learn more about this, Alcohol Explained by William Porter is an awesome book. I'll drop it in the chat. I love this book, guys. It's not... There's plenty of self-help books out there that are like, you can do it because drinking is bad for you, and if you're the best version of yourself, you know, you'll quit drinking. And that's all true, and I believe that. But this book was impactful for me because it very simply lays out physiologically what is going to happen to your body when you drink alcohol. You know, you have all these complex systems that make your body function, your sleep and your digestive system and your heart and your cardio. All these, you know, things have been built over millennia. Well, what happens to them when you put alcohol into those systems? So your sleep is going to degrade. Your cardio is going to get worse. Your memory is going to suffer. All these sorts of things. I was like, wow, I can't unknow all of that. And if I want to perform my best, I just can't have alcohol in that equation. It's going to mess up all of those complex systems. So that was a really good one. Good question, Nathan. How long have you been sober for? It'll be 5 years in March. So like 1,700 and something days. Yeah, March of 2021 was my last drink of alcohol. Pretty proud of that. But the reality, guys, I've talked about this a lot. The way you get there, you say, wow, 5 years, that's so much. I did it one day at a time. There was a time when it was day 2. And I was like, man, this sucks. I wish I could just go have a drink. But you know what? I'm committed to this. And I made it through that day. And then day 3 came, and I was like, man, this still really sucks. But it's a little easier than yesterday. And I just repeated that day after day after day until we're here today. You're seeing me sober and clear, talking in front of you. And I just did the same thing day after day. It sometimes was, let's just get to lunch. I can remember early days, like first few weeks when I wasn't drinking, I was like, just get to lunch. And then if you can get to lunch, let's make it to dinner. And if we can make it to dinner, we can make it to tomorrow. You sometimes have to break it down into those really small pieces. Sometimes a day is too much. Thanks, Nathan. Thanks, Brett. Shane, are you going to play any Sims throughout the winter? Yes, we're working on that, guys. I'm working on finding some awesome sponsors to do some simulator live streams and play some golf, film some videos. So we are absolutely going to be having some winter golf content, simulator stuff coming. I'm going to try to do some speed training. You know, speed training for me might be staying the same, not letting this knee thing get any worse. Tommy says, I needed to hear that today. Thanks, man. You're welcome, Tommy. I'm glad that I could have an impact. I think the biggest thing that I tell people, if you're committed to changing who you are, to shifting your identity into a better, different version of yourself, right? There was a version of myself that I used to not like. I used to drink a lot. I was out of shape. I was unhappy. I knew I had ADHD and depression and things, but I just wasn't managing them. And now this version of myself exists where I've really solved all those problems, and I continue to try to improve on them and add new skills to my toolbox. But I really had to shift my identity. I went from a person who drinks all the time to, it's not like, oh, I'm not drinking right now, or I'm trying to take a break. I just don't drink. It's as if I'm allergic to it. I just tell people I don't drink. It is not a thing, an option that I have available to me. I don't do it. I'm not drinking right now. I'm not drinking for some amount of time. I don't drink at all because this identity that I've crafted for myself isn't one that includes alcohol. It's not an option. So by shifting my identity from someone who does that behavior to someone who doesn't, that's how I really made true progress. Once I flipped that switch from this is the thing I'm doing for a while to this is who I am, that's when I made real progress. That sounds really good, John. Oh, I'm glad you're excited, Shane. JS said, do you ever receive any pushback or negativity when you tell others you don't drink? Yeah, definitely, all the time. I talk about this a lot. I think it's confusing, and another reason why I think it's so important to talk about this stuff, guys. I've had so many people say, oh, you don't drink? What's up with that? If you were doing other drugs, or if you were sick, let's say you were like, hey, I had a broken arm, but I don't anymore. Nobody would say, well, what's up? Why don't you have a broken arm anymore? Like, you're better. You're doing a better thing. And yet, because of how ingrained in our societies and cultures alcohol is, people question and don't understand or push back on your decision not to partake. And to be honest, I lean into that. Like, I think it's a superpower that I don't have to deal with all the ramifications. Like, 70% of people, at least in the States, drink alcohol regularly. 30% don't. Well, those 30% are already, whatever else they're doing in their life, they have that one thing that is like a leg up. So the more ways you can differentiate yourself and just say, okay, like what's a behavior I can do that others don't? I can exercise regularly. I can eat healthy food. I can not drink. I can not smoke. And then you stack all these things on top of each other, and that's how you really start to perform at a high level. But it's just one little thing here and there that you're trying to optimize and improve on. So yes, JS, but to be honest, the people who are pushing back or saying, like, oh, why don't you drink anymore? You don't have to worry about them. You're way ahead of them already. So, and to be honest, people are mostly very self-centered. They're worried about themselves, how they're being perceived. 8 out of 10 people aren't even going to notice. They're like, okay, well, whatever. I'm going to keep going back to what I was doing. Or that's interesting. You don't drink anymore. Cool. People really are very focused on themselves. It's really solid advice about the identity shift. Thanks, Nathan. How much for a putting green like that? This was a very simple setup, Tommy. I think the magic really happens back here with this. So like this Pels tutor I have is just a fancy gate setup to make sure that I'm starting the ball on line. This well stroke mat gives me some feedback as well. So I would recommend setting something like this up. You don't even need a green like that. You don't need this artificial turf. That's all just aesthetic stuff. The skill that you're working on building, that I'm working on, is can I start the ball where I intend to? And that time, the answer was yes. So that gate would tell me, if I hit that ball bearing, I'm going to get that immediate feedback. Hey, Andy Farner's here. Keep up the hard work. Thanks, my friend. Appreciate you. And I'll be honest, guys, it's not easy to talk about these things. I've done it a lot, so you probably hear me say the same things when I'm talking about my experience with alcohol, but it's not easy. I don't necessarily enjoy doing it, but I think it's important. I think if even one person out there heard this and was like, you know what? I believe in myself now that I can do something different. And if my willingness to talk about my experience can cause, even that amount of incremental impact, then it's all worth it. And the discomfort that I feel will be more than offset by somebody else's, cumulative gain in well-being by making a better choice for themselves. So Nathan was asking earlier about if I've ever done AA or anything like that, and I haven't, but I do agree there's a lot of good ideas in those programs, and one of them being to be of service, to use your experience to give back. I think is really important. Anybody playing golf this week? It hit 6 o'clock. I think everybody went to go to dinner, which is probably what I should do pretty soon. I do think it would be cool to do. Tell me what you guys think. Like maybe a little more structure to the live stream. So like Sunday could be Sober Sunday, and we just talk about sobriety and what people are going through and challenges. Motivational Monday, golf tip Tuesday. I mean, I'm just off the top of my head making these up. But that might be a good idea, just to have a little structure to the time. Boom. For the Flips says, just snowed 8 inches here in Wisconsin. No golf for us. Oh, man, that's brutal. Supposed to play a country club for the first time this Thursday. A little nervous. Well, that's okay, JS. It's normal to be nervous when you're doing something new for the first time. Whether that's going to the golf course for the first time, going to a fancy private club for the first time. I think it's okay even to acknowledge that when you get there. Tell, if you're meeting a friend or somebody who's hosting you, just say, hey, I'm a little nervous. And just getting it out there, saying that out loud can be very helpful. At least it is for me. To just acknowledge and say like, oh, this is a real thing that I'm experiencing. And that's okay. It's okay to be nervous. You can still be nervous and play good golf. You can be nervous and be polite to people, learn new things. It's just a thing you have to acknowledge. Thanks for being here, Nathan. Keep up the hard work, bro. See you tomorrow for day 11. Boom. I spent so much time in my professional life prior to, a year ago, making life harder for other people and working in an industry that I now have come to really hate and I'm very cynical about. And I'll never work in finance again. But it's nice to be putting something positive and good out into the world again. And to be doing something that might potentially resonate with some people out there. It just feels totally different than, the cynicism and the, what I saw as not a good thing that was happening, and I just couldn't be a part of it anymore. Oh, man. 31 likes on the stream. Thank you guys so much. That's amazing. Very cool to see a bunch of new people hanging out, a bunch of familiar faces as well. Great question. Favorite course you played this year / summer? So I would say, I think Erin Hills. I played Erin Hills for the first time this year. And that one was really, really good. Boom. Let's go. Nice. What about you, For the Flips? What's the best course you played this year? For the Flips. a good name for a YouTube channel. Mine's boring. Should have come up with something cooler. Also, guys, while I'm thinking of it, go check out the Sober Golf Club merch. They're on Instagram and on their website, Sober Golf Club. Sent me this awesome stuff. Really, really high quality hats and t-shirts and gear. You know, they're making stuff that, like we were just talking about, we got to talk about this stuff and the overlap of golf and sobriety and trying to get men especially to take care of themselves and talk about their mental health. There's a video that I'm getting ready to post about how even though it's the end of November, and we talk a lot about in November how it was Men's Health Month, and November's coming to an end, but that doesn't mean that we stop these conversations. It doesn't mean that we give up on trying to acknowledge these stigmas and working to combat them. We don't stop checking in on our friends and trying to raise awareness about these issues. November is a big focus, obviously, but we got to keep doing this work every single day, one day at a time, you know, and try to be the change you want to see. If you're like, man, I wish one of my buddies would call once in a while and see how I'm doing. Well, you can also call them. Just pick up the phone and say, hey, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. I was thinking of you. Unfortunately, it's YB said, do you prefer graphite or metal shaft? Well, I guess it depends. For an iron steel, but certainly all the woods I'm going to want graphite. I am willing to try pretty much anything as far as equipment goes. So if there's a graphite iron shaft option that can outperform what I currently have, then I would certainly try it. Moonboy says, hey, it's me. It's been a while. Have you practiced your backflip at all yet? I have not practiced my backflip, guys. But when and if I do, you'll know because you'll see the flashing red and blue lights from the ambulance coming to pick me up. Hey, Dallas is here. What's up, Dallas? Appreciate you. Boom. Can't believe we made 333 putts. Yeah, that's fine, Moonboy. Dallas says, how are you? Thanks for asking, Dallas. I'm doing very well. Just talking about how nice it is not to have Sunday scaries and a terrible hangover. So had a nice Sunday at home. Watched some football, did some work. Got more football on over here. Bills are up 10-7 on the Steelers, but man, Aaron Rodgers got fucked. He got blasted on that hit. That did not look very good. Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can make some more putts. Boom. Boom. Shakalaka. Final rating, 0 out of 10 backflips on this channel, but an honest host who's passionate about golf. No desire to improve backflips. Moonboy out. You know what, Moonboy? It's an amazing review. Couldn't ask for anything more. I feel like I could get a 1 out of 10 for at least expressing some desire to someday learn a backflip. I just think in my current form it would be quite challenging. Boom. I like watching your golf live streams. Thanks so much. I appreciate you saying so. Means a lot to me to have so much support from the audience that we're building together. We're really working to build a community together, guys. This isn't just like, hey, come watch this guy once in a while and just be on your way. I mean, we're really hopefully building a community where people like to come back and hang out and spend time and get excited about the live streams and seeing the content. Hey, D-Max here. He said, sup, Tommy Fleetwood. Sup, my dude. I think it's even more obvious with the hat this way. Obviously, the tattoos and the knee brace don't quite match the Tommy Fleetwood vibe, but boom. Ugh. Please turn the putter around and try a putt. We could try that, Jansen. Dallas said, do you like NASCAR? I can be honest, I don't have much experience watching NASCAR. It's not really a thing that it's ever really been a big part of my life. All right, let's see if we can. There's a bunch of different ways we can turn the putter around. We could turn it around this way. Nope, that was never online. Nope, missed it on the right. Oh no, we've got golf balls bouncing everywhere. Gotta scoop it up. Can also turn it around like this. Oh, not enough pace. It's gonna be tough. Oh, we nearly made it. Come on. Oh. One like this, guys. Nope, too far to the right. Oh, so close. Man, that's tough. LR Darts is here, said hi, John. Talking about Upside Down. Have you watched Stranger Things? I have not watched Stranger Things, but my wife has. And I think she liked this most recent season. I watched probably cumulatively maybe 30 minutes of it in passing and had absolutely no idea what was going on. You're welcome, Janton. I'm always happy to engage with interesting ideas like that. Incredible show, mate. I think it's one of those things you maybe had to have been watching from the beginning, and I just wasn't. I also scare easily, guys. I don't really like scary things. Boom, look at that. Back on the golf course this week, first time in 4 weeks. That's amazing, LR Darts. Happy for you. It's always good to get back out after a stretch away. Dallas said boo. What are we booing? Let's go. Weather in the UK is so awful lately, it's not been worth it. Yeah, I hear you, man. I don't love playing in inclement weather either. Unless it's a tournament or there's a good reason to be out. Kind of like today. I wanted to stream outside, hit some balls, but just wasn't in the cards. Whew. Speaking of in the cards, I'm going to need to do some stretching because my body is tired. You said that you don't like to be scared. Oh. Playing in the wind and rain is no fun. Yeah, it's just, I like to have control over the golf ball. If I hit a good shot, I'd like to have it end up as a good shot. Ooh. All right, guys. Well, it's dinner time for me. Thank you all so much for checking out the stream, hanging out with me today. We'll be back tomorrow with another live stream. Be sure to check out the channel. There's lots of more, lots more Exciting content coming soon. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time.